Hello, BookTube. This is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading, and I'm going to do a quick tag for you tonight. This is the rapid fire book tag that was originated by Girl Reading, so I'll link that below. I'm still new to book club, so I haven't been tagged by anyone, which is fine. But I would love to be tagged, so feel free. And anyway, so we're just going to go through this really quick. So the first question is ebook or physical book? Most definitely physical book. Paperback or hardback? Paperback. Mainly because they're cheaper. If you fall asleep while you're reading, like, you don't smack you in the head. Online or in-store book shopping? Definitely a store. I prefer a store. And that's how you discover books that you don't know about. Or BookTube. Trilogies or series? You know, I think there's like this trend of extending a series past the point that it needs to be. So if it should be a trilogy, then that's fine. It can be a trilogy, but if it should be a series, but like, just tell the story that you want to tell and stop there. Like, don't keep going and going and going. Heroes or villains? I'm not quite sure what this means, but I'm going to go for heroes. A book you want everyone to read. Oh my god. I actually haven't thought about that. I want everyone to read The Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens because I feel like you really get to see Dickens like figuring out how to write a novel as you read it. So, yeah. So it's not a perfect book. It's definitely flawed, but I love it. I absolutely love Pickwick. Recommend an underrated book. Oh my goodness, I didn't think about this either. An underrated book. I will be doing a video about this series in the future, but people are not aware enough about the Betsy Tacy series for kids and adults. They are amazing books. I will do a video about those soon, but yeah, in the meantime, Betsy Tacy all the way. Let's see. The last book you finished? I did not read the questions clearly well enough. The last book I finished? Oh yeah, my husband's yelling at me. I had to read The Secret, not the like New Age Secret, but The Secret by Ken Blanchard and somebody else. Sorry, I'll write it below. But I had to read that for work. Thank you, sweetheart. Let's see. The last book you bought, no idea because I don't buy books very often. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? My family has a tendency to use Kleenex a lot as bookmarks. It's a little bit weird. If I'm traveling, definitely I'll use my boarding pass or my, claim ticket or things like that. But probably Kleenex. Like, I still have some of my grandmother's cookbooks, and there's newspaper articles and Kleenex, and I just leave it all in there because I love it because it just makes me think of her, and she was so awesome. So, used books, yes or no? Depending on the condition, yes. If they're kind of stinky and just really worn, then I would pass on that. Top 3 favorite genres? I'm going to go with contemporary fiction, classics, and I do like YA, but it seems like it's gotten a little out of hand. Not sure. I'll think more about that. Let's see. Borrow or buy? Oof. I definitely would prefer to check things out from the library rather than buy them, especially if it's a book that I don't know if I'm going to really love or not, so I'd probably say borrow. Characters or plot? Characters. All about the characters for me. If I can't connect with the people in the book, it's lost. Long or short books? Again, and the next question is long or short chapters. I do like a little white space on the page. Otherwise, it can feel really overwhelming. The sprinklers are about to change. I'm really hoping they're not going to get me wet. Anyway, so it'll be really interesting here. Again, I think there's this tendency in publishing to make things longer than they need to be. So, like, make the book as long as it needs to be. If you don't, I mean, you know, when you're done saying what you've had to say, like, stop. And as far as, and again, the same with chapters, like, I don't mind long chapters. It's nice to have a break once in a while. I just don't like it when, like, it feels like the whole entire page is crowded with words. I need a little bit of white space. Name the first 3 books you think of. Let's see. First 3 books I think of are Jane Eyre, Sense and Sensibility, and Cuckoo's Calling. I'm going to be watching the last installment of Cormoran Strike tonight, so I'm super excited about that. Let's see. Books that make you laugh or cry. I did actually think about this one. So, this is The Polysyllabic Spree by Nick Hornby. I will be doing a video about these books as well at some point. This book made me laugh so hard that I cried. Kid you not. And Chosen by a Horse by Susan Richards. I bawled, cried at the end of this book. And now Jason and I kind of laugh about it, but yes, like, this book definitely, when I think of a book that makes me cry, or made me cry, this for sure, number 1. Her world or fictional worlds? Most definitely fictional worlds. Definitely. Audiobooks, yes or no? No. And I think it's because of the kind of reader I am. When I am reading something, lots of times I find myself going back as far as, like, you know, maybe I'm confused about something, or I don't know where I'm at on the page or whatever, so I end up rereading things sometimes. And of course with audiobooks, you can't just flip back a couple pages and see where you are, that sort of thing. You're just... Anyway, I have listened to a few audiobooks. I actually listened to Stephen King's On Writing book partially. I listened to an audiobook, and then I'd listen to it in my car, and then when I got home, I'd find in the book where I had stopped, and I would read. But his voice is so wonderful. He's got a great voice. Reads that book really well. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? I mean, I think we all do, right? If it's not a really yucky or crazy cover, ugh. I mean, but again, I don't know. Like, if somebody's told me that they loved it, there's tons of editions of things. Jason and I have definitely, we buy books from the UK, we buy books from Canada, so yeah, sometimes you just want a particular cover of a book, and it's not that you're judging it, but the other cover is way better. So, book to movie or book to TV adaptations. This is a tough one, but I think in general book to TV adaptations, because there's more chance to extend the story or to fully realize the story than in a movie. I particularly find myself struggling with the more recent Pride and Prejudice and the more recent Jane Eyre that were made into feature-length films. I just felt like they were just so rushed. They're just hurrying along. They're just rapidly trying to get through the story. So, yeah, that would be my thoughts on that. But I'm always up for seeing a movie adaptation as well. I mean, I'm willing to give it a go, but I just think in general, book to TV adaptations tend to work better. A movie or TV show you preferred to its book. So one of our favorite movies in our household is the Jane Austen book club. I could not finish that book. I try to give books 50 pages, and if I'm not there by 50 pages, then I think I'm usually out. And that was actually a book club book. I was supposed to read it, but I just couldn't get through it. The movie is charming, delightful, witty, smart. We watch it a lot. It's a good comfort movie at our house. Series or standalones. Again, I just want to say, tell the story the way it needs to be told. I do feel like some series, it's getting out of control. Like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the 3 books, done. He's done in 3 books. It's fine. But to have this other person start writing books about Elizabeth Salander and Blomkist, it feels like greed to me. And I read one of them, and I'm not going to read anymore because the first 3, that was the story, and it should have ended there. Now, whether Steve Larson would have ended it there or not, I'm not sure, but those are my thoughts. So, I do want to tag a few people for this rapid fire book challenge tag. I found a channel last night that I really like it. It's called The Bookish Land. She's Chinese. And I'm just fascinated because I don't really know anything about Chinese literature at all. So, The Bookish Land, you are tagged. Big Al Books, love it. It's fantastic. Words everywhere. Thank you for commenting so much and your supportive nature of my channel. So I'm going to tag you in this. And then I also want to tag Roya E. Reads. So those are some of the channels that I've been checking out in the BookTube universe, which is amazing. So I have been trying to think of ideas for things, and so there's my tag. I do have a special video coming up tomorrow, so be sure to check that out. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.